Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald in Old Quincy on Main Street in front of an Italianate mansion that you might recognize as being the headquarters of the Quincy Public School District for many years. But now it's back in private hands, and it's one of several houses on an upcoming tour that benefits Quincy Preserves. So we're going to tour this house and a couple others during this program, but on a larger scale, we're going to talk about Quincy Preserves. And Deborah Davis, what they do is aid in preserving homes like this one and other buildings around Quincy.
That's exactly right, Mark, and we've done this since 1970. The organization was founded then, and you know, our purpose is to bring awareness to the public on Quincy's rich historic architectural features that we have in this town. And you know, we partner and support a lot of other preservation groups such as the Villa Catherine and the museum and the library, Friends of the Log Cabin, and other organizations that are into preservation. We also have a facade program, and every year we recognize 5 to 7 homes that have really gone above and beyond in preserving their architectural integrity, and we actually award them with a bronze plaque from the Quincy Preserves. We also have a scholarship program for the high school students. And one of the other things we do, we have a facade program where we actually, through loans or grants, help fund businesses in the historic downtown area that want to improve or renovate their historic facade. So yes, we have a large presence in the preservation efforts here in Quincy.
And one of the ways that you raise money to do these things is by arranging these house tours twice a year. And that's what we're talking about now. As we look at this Italianate mansion here on Main Street, this will be one of them, and we're going to, during this program, tour 2 others of those, and it'll give people sort of a taste of what goes into these tours that Quincy Preserves puts on.
Right, and every year we try to do it, you know, a theme, and this one actually we're thrilled because it's going to be architecture through the decades. We're actually going to have homes representing 1860s on up to 1950s, and how the trends of architecture and design have changed over the decades. So we're pretty excited.
This is 1860s.
Yes.
This was built during the Civil War. Why don't you and I go in and we'll take a little visit here with the owner, huh?
Wonderful.
All right.
Thanks.
Sue Gudislow, thank you for being here, number one, because you know, you're not here all the time. You arranged to be here for us. But you live, I guess, in the biggest house on Main in Quincy, or it's your home, going to be your home when you get it where you want it. 12,000 some square feet in this Italianate mansion.
It's
remarkable.
beautiful.
It is remarkable. And we mentioned it was the school district offices forever. So when you got your hands on this, you had all kinds of changes to make because for years and years and years it had been an office, right?
That's
so there are all these layers
yes.
and partitions and everything in there.
Multiple layers.
Multiple layers.
Yes.
You've already got the front hall opened back up again, so you got a good start on it, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Would you take us into the parlor first?
Certainly.
Okay. One of the things you had to make decisions about was the fireplaces.
Yes.
What did you decide to do?
There were 8 fireplaces. 6 of them had been covered and bricked in. This one and in my music room are the 2 original to the fireplaces, and they would have been gas.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
But this is the original marble.
Marble.
Yeah, yeah. And there's another one we're going to see in the music room, and then the other 6 fireplaces. You had a little tougher time with them, I guess.
Yes, I did, because they were all bricked in and changed, and all of the mantles and everything were gone. So they're all open now, and we're in the process of restoring them. All of the mantles I've found are from the same time period. There's no information whether or not they were all marble or what.
Yeah.
So we're doing the best we can.
While we're in here, we get reminded of when they built these grand mansions, the kind of decor they used.
Yes.
And you're going to use this mold, aren't you? What are you going to do with it?
These 2 outer rings I'm making molds of and copies of that I'm putting in my dining room so that the chandeliers will hang from each one of those.
Oh, wow.
So I'm duplicating those.
That's terrific. And I guess you'll just build a plaster a medallion out of that mold, huh? Terrific. Okay, now, as we go in here, we're reminded that there used to be pocket doors here, I guess. Here.
Yes, the school board put in a little bathroom here, and this was I think the commissioner's or superintendent's office. So.
Okay, so you want to bring that flavor back, right?
Yes.
Do you know where the doors are, or you have to have doors built?
I've actually found a couple in Hannibal that should be suitable for it.
You think they'll work here? All right. Okay, you're going to call this the music room.
Yes, this is going to be my music room.
I see you have a couple of pianos in here already. Do you play?
No, I don't, but my daughter does.
Your daughter,
and
okay,
the goal
good.
is to get a baby grand in here. So, but these were a couple antique pieces that we've collected over
neat.
time.
They're neat. And again, this is the duplicate fireplace, the other marble fireplace you were talking about.
Yes.
This would probably, I guess this would have been another parlor. The family's parlor or something like that.
Or they would have opened up the doors and actually had a big salon or whatever for dancing or stuff like that.
I see. Okay. Okay, let's go across the main hall, because in these big old homes, they would have had a parlor on each side. And this would have been maybe like a library over here. I'm not sure. It looks like that's what you intend to use it for anyway.
Yes. And
another big room.
A very big room.
Yeah. And,
we created the ceiling.
Oh, really? That's all hardwood.
It's all hardwood,
oh my
yes.
Goodness,
and stained, and the cabinetry and everything.
So as we see the bookshelves here, those were not built in. You put those in.
Yes, I put those in. It would have been pocket doors here too. I took a little artistic license, and this would have been a library or a study or something.
Yeah.
This fireplace was originally the size as the other ones. At one point in time, it had been enlarged, and I decided to keep it this size.
Keep that same size.
Yes, it's
You're
my
want
only
a
wood
big fire in there.
Yes,
huh?
it's my only wood burning one.
I don't blame you. I'd want a big one too. So they did you kind of a favor there, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
And it is a work in progress.
Now I guess this was always the dining room in here,
Yes.
and that's what you're going to use it for again. And as we look, we can look up and we can see where you're going to put your chandeliers.
Yes, those two plaster moldings will be up here.
Okay, very nice.
And I'm still looking for, my goal is to have a table that seats 12. So I'm still looking for an antique piece
I think
and
this room
buffets.
can handle it. I
Yes.
think the room can, it's a nice big room. Originally in 1865 when this was built, the exterior wall would have been here and somebody added this bay on, didn't they?
The McFaddens added this bay.
Yeah.
It would have been a square box bow.
But you found the pillars.
Yes, I found the pillars in Hannibal. It was just rough when we took everything out. It was just rough brick up there. And so we created the fur down and put the pillars in just to continue the woodwork and everything around. So.
And you mentioned the mantles that you found. This, when I first saw it, it looked to me like it was new, but it's really old, isn't it?
No, it's an antique as well.
And you found that where?
I found this down in St. Louis, and it happened to match the columns.
And you can see that this is
Original
this
tile
is the
inside.
original tile for the fireplace. Somebody converted it to gas, I guess, but that's the original tile, huh?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes. And I actually, in my research, I met up with Frances Mullins, and she is a great-granddaughter of the Gardners. And she has a buffet that was originally in the house. She now lives in Dallas, and she's returning it to me to put in here.
How great is that?
Yes.
Okay, so
I'm
the
pretty excited
Gardners
about
of
that.
Gardner, Denver owned this home at one time. Okay. all
Yes.
right. Now, as we walk through here to the kitchen, this after you, please.
This was all enclosed and covered.
And covered. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
This would have been the butler's pantry, so.
okay, so this would not have been. He would have had to use this and find another entrance to the dining room. This would have been the butler's pantry, though.
Yes, there
You've
would have
turned it
been a
into
swing
wet
door
bar.
there.
Okay, a swing
A
door.
butler's
okay.
door. It would have swung there.
Okay, and this is your wet bar. Nice thing to do with it. And we don't know whether this probably wasn't the kitchen, because in 1865 they didn't have running water, and they would have wanted to locate the kitchen somewhere else. Probably in the basement.
Probably
or
in the
outside.
basement.
Yeah.
And then at one time, I think when they added this wing over here, it would have been like a summer kitchen off of here, and they would have carried the food through.
Yeah, but you have made this the kitchen, and it's perfect size, isn't it?
Yes, it's beautiful.
And bring our attention to this, because this is I've never seen one. This must have come out of a store, because this ice box is huge.
Yes, this is an old ice box that I found, and I've had it refabbed that we actually use it as our refrigerator.
Isn't that neat? And so your refrigerating unit is up here?
Yes.
Isn't that nice? Did you have to add that on, or was
Yes,
that...
we added this piece. My guys
perfect.
that work for me are very good with woodwork.
They
and
really
stuff.
are. It looks so original. Really looks original.
Most of the ceilings and everything were lowered in the house at one point in time.
Yeah.
So all of the tops of my woodwork and everything have been restored because they were all chopped off when they lowered the ceilings.
They did that. I got you. They dropped the ceiling and then they cut the top of the woodwork.
woodwork.
I've seen that happen before. I don't know what they were thinking when they did that. This cabinet, you added all these new cabinets.
Yes.
What a nice sized kitchen. This is perfect.
Yes, we are making this kind of like a family home. We've wrapped it up into a trust, so it will be protected for at least 100 years and stay as a home. And we have a big family, and so we like to do cooking and have big get-togethers. So
That's terrific. This was added on to the
this was a
original
later
house.
addition to the house.
And you're going to make this like a mother-in-law's suite.
Suite.
Okay. But the reason I wanted to come in here is because I wanted to look into this room, because this was part of the original house.
Yes.
And it probably wasn't. It may have been guest quarters, or maybe the help may have slept here. Huh? But this is going to be sleeping area for your family. Terrific.
Yes. I have 9 bedrooms.
Well, thank you so much. This is very
You're
interesting.
welcome.
Wendy McDonald, when you look at the outside of this house, as we just have seen, you notice it's a little different than the historic houses in this neighborhood.
Yes, it
I mean,
is.
It's unique.
Yes, it is.
Is that what drew you to it?
Pretty much. That and the open floor plan. We love the open floor plan inside and definitely the unique.
Yeah. When you look at it, it to me, it screams 1950s. But it was ahead of its time because it was finished in 1940, wasn't
Definitely.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, started in 1939. Yes.
And it's steel construction.
Correct.
Which is interesting.
Yes.
I think it was built by the family that owns the Michelman Steel Company.
Yes,
so
it
they had a
was.
lot of steel to
Yes,
put
yes,
into a
it
house.
was.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
That's very interesting. You walk
Yeah.
first into this room, which is the entry hall, and you immediately get the feel that you're in a modern home because the walls are curved, and
Right.
although it's a geometric design, it's very square, but it's curved as well, which makes you feel kind of neat, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It is. It's very. It's homey as well. I mean, it's. I don't know. It kind of drew us in. A lot of the curved walls did draw us in just because of the uniqueness. You don't find that in any other home in Quincy.
I haven't seen it either.
No.
Okay, so that goes upstairs.
Yes.
And of course you got your stainless steel
Yes.
handrail. And these are what I'm talking about, these curved wall ends. It's really, really unusual.
Yes.
But at the same time, you've got a very square look, which is very modern.
Very.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I guess the fireplace was always there and always
Yep.
like that, huh?
Yes, and it is a working fireplace.
Do you burn wood in it?
We do not.
You don't?
We conserve energy in the wintertime. We do close it up. It saves on the utility bills.
And this gorgeous black and white tile floor that we're looking at. Tell us about this.
I believe it was original. I'm not sure. The previous owner, I don't know much about the flooring in that aspect.
You're lucky to have it, I'll tell you that.
But yeah, we're
It's
lucky.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's another unique design of the home.
Were these bookshelves and do you think those were built in?
Those were built in. Those
Oh,
were
isn't that
original to the house. Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Now, not everything's original
No.
though, because if you
No.
walk this way, we would be walking through what was the original outdoor wall of the house right
Correct.
now. It was right
Correct.
there.
Yes.
And then sometime later, this was added on for
About 20 years ago.
20 years ago. Boy,
Yes.
doesn't it look like it was done yesterday?
Yes, it does. It does.
And they really, they did it right
Yeah.
because they wanted high ceilings and
Yes.
they wanted a feeling of spaciousness.
And this
Lots of
room
windows.
it's the wow factor.
It is.
It's what really sold us. The living area. This is the family's favorite room in the house.
It's interesting, we saw those glass blocks as we look up there. That would have been the outside wall.
Yeah, well, that would have
So-
been the porch coming off of the master bedroom.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
so the master bedroom coming off of it was an outdoor porch, and when they added this room on, they added a second bathroom because originally it was 1.5 bathrooms.
Oh, okay.
So now it's 2.5.
Now it's 2.5.
Yes.
Okay, and that would have,
Yes.
so there would have been a porch there, and that would have allowed some light in.
Right.
And that okay.
Right.
And we love that block because as you walk in the house in this entry hall, you see those blocks too.
Yes,
So it carries
yes.
that theme kind
It
of
does,
through there.
and as well in
Yeah.
the big room.
This is really neat. Like you say, this is a wow factor just because it's so cathedral-like. You know, it's
Right.
real high and.
Right, right.
Okay, so we're back in the original footprint of the house now.
Yes.
To carry the tile through the dining room.
Yes.
And what you've got is formal dining here, and then you've got kind of a little family dining area over here. That's neat.
We like to entertain. We have a big family, so we have plenty of seating all
And
the time.
again, look the way these walls end here with this curve. That's an expensive feature to build.
Is it? Okay.
I think so. I think so. And speaking of building, this is
Right.
kind of cool too because you've got a photograph out for us. This was taken in 1940, and when we talk about steel construction, that's a real good look at exactly
It
what we
is.
mean.
It is.
You're
This
so
is
fortunate to have that.
This is this is Aldo Boulevard right here, and this is looking west. This is our porch area, and this curve right here, you would see how there's a porch right there. That would be right over there. That would be the porch coming off of the master bath that was built onto.
And I'm looking out the dining room to the back of the house, and you used to live right across that little alley right there,
Yes,
didn't you?
we did.
So you were looking at this house all the time,
Yes, 12
probably
years.
never dreaming that we'd be living there someday.
Never, never, no.
How neat is that? Okay, let's go in the kitchen. Now the kitchens were
Okay.
a little smaller in those days.
Yes,
This was part of the original house, wasn't it?
yes, it was.
Okay, so
Yes.
you've made what was a mud room into
Into a pantry.
A pantry, yeah, and a little area where you can make service area. and,
Right.
do some
A lot
things.
of cabinet space.
Yeah.
The previous owner redid the kitchen. He had the cabinets custom made,
How nice.
and the countertop is Corian, I believe.
Very nice. Very
Yes,
nice, clean
yes.
look. Closets.
Closets galore, and we do have a laundry chute on all 3 floors.
Okay. Closets, bathroom, and a place to hang clothes, etc.
Yes.
And we end up back in the entrance hall.
It's a
And we
circle.
talked about those are glass blocks which kind of characterize the house and the age of the house. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. Thanks. It's been
You're
a lot
welcome.
of fun.
You're very welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're going to have a lot of people that want to get in here and want to see the inside of this house.
Yeah, we are definitely blessed to be here.
Thanks, Wendy.
Thank you.
Kurt Leinbach, I guess 1889, your
Yes.
home was finished, which I think kind of tucks it into the late Victorian period,
Yes.
I guess. And we're standing in the front hall here, which wasn't always the entrance, interestingly, right?
Correct. The front door used to be where the window is in the parlor, and about 10 years after they built the home, they moved this wall in about 8 feet and switched the front door and the window.
Wow. That's kind of an awkward thing to have to do, I think.
Yeah, well, it used to be a very large parlor, a very large foyer and a very small parlor, and this just made it more livable, I guess.
All right. Well, it sort of made it more welcoming because when you walk in, it's a nice big space. And then the first place you would go, this would have been the formal parlor, usually to the right.
Correct.
And I think what you all should be really proud of here is this magnificent woodwork.
That's what caught our eye when we first looked at the house. And yeah, it's very nice, cherry. And luckily for us, it was refinished back in the 40s.
Oh.
And just beautiful.
It is beautiful, and it's never darkened or gotten. It's just stayed that beautiful, luscious tone for you. And the fireplace, that tile looks new, but it's not, is it?
That tile's original. Yes.
Oh, it's in terrific condition.
And we were very lucky in that regard.
The people are stricken. I was stricken by this vivid color, this vivid green color. It turns out you didn't really choose that. It was chosen for you, wasn't it?
It was this color when we moved in. We actually repainted it the same color, and we like it, and it is period to the day. And we always liked it. It was like, looks good.
You got a surprise, didn't you, when you were painting this?
Well, we thought we were painting a different color, and it turns out it's almost identical, same color. And yes, this one patch of wall right here, once I finished, I realized I forgot that patch of wall, and I never did repaint that patch of wall, so you can see.
It looks identical.
Yeah, it does.
So when it dried, it actually dried to be the same color that you. And then if we look at the front of the house, this is one thing that you didn't know about when you bought the house, this gorgeous window.
Right. When we bought the house, there was very large bushes around the entire front of the house, and on the inside was a very heavy bamboo shade. And so we never saw that there was a stained glass window from the outside or the inside until a few weeks after we were in here, and we were finally able to get the very heavy shade lifted, and there it was.
What a break. I mean, and that's a nice signature piece of the house. Okay, let's go into the parlor that we were talking about.
Okay.
This was, of course, a smaller front hall at the time. And this now has become, this would have been a very small parlor, but now,
Right.
now it's sizable.
The wall actually was right about here, and so you can see it was very small, and I'm glad they changed it.
Yeah. There used to be a swinging door against this wall here that went into the dining room.
Correct.
And then this pocket doors, this big doorway here always has been here.
Correct.
So you would go from the parlor or from the front hall into the dining room.
Right.
That's interesting. That's an interesting concept.
And then when they moved the wall, they took out the smaller door, and actually that's where it is now. That's the door that they used.
Oh, that's the swinging door.
Right.
Okay. And the flooring in here, this is interesting. This is original, I guess.
Right. This floor is original. What's unique about it, besides the pattern, it's called the soldier boards, because they're all lined up in nice little ranks.
Yeah.
But it's a very narrow wood. It's only that wide. Most standard wood is almost twice that wide.
Yeah.
So this is all special made. And when we had the other floors reproduced, we did the same very narrow pattern and the same soldier board pattern.
Yeah. Now come over here and make room for Randy there, if you would. If we look over at this wall, this is interesting because what you have here is, I thought that might have been an addition with that angle the way it's went, but that's the way the fireplaces and the flues, which back up to each other, were originally designed, isn't it?
Right, and because the chimney also has a third flue which goes to our bedroom upstairs, which has the fourth fireplace. And so they did it because back in the day this was used for heating. It wasn't just decorative.
Really pretty. Jan, we just ditched your husband, Kurt, in the
Yes.
dining room. That adjoins what is now the new kitchen.
Yes.
But this wasn't the kitchen originally, was it?
No, originally this was part of the patio. There were stairs that went down onto the patio. So
Did you add it, or was it added?
it was
before?
added in the late 1950s.
In the late 50s. Okay, so it's been a kitchen since then.
Yes.
They were thinking ahead because it's still the right shape and size for a kitchen today, isn't it?
It is very efficient
Yeah.
and easy to work in this kitchen.
Let's walk this way because I want to show what the original wall. See, we'd be standing outside the house right now
Yes.
originally. This would have been, see how wide that is? That would have been the original wall, right?
Yes, and there is a chimney in this wall because the original kitchen was actually this room.
Okay, let's
that
go in
we
there.
are using now as our study.
Okay, this would have been a pretty big kitchen even in those times, wouldn't it?
The stove would have been along
Okay.
this wall to connect into the chimney. When we redid the floor, we found holes in the floor where the water and the radiators would have been located,
Yep.
the pipes.
Yep. And so you replaced this
Yes.
floor. Okay, there was probably a plank floor or something, but usually they didn't put a fine floor in the kitchen. But
Right. Right.
very, very nice. Cozy place, isn't it?
It's very cozy. It is a very bright house. It's it just has a nice, happy feel to it. Our children are all wanting to own it and move into it
be
when
around
they
as
come
long
back.
as they can.
Yes.
Huh? Well, Jan, thanks to you and Kurt for opening it up for us. We sure appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Quincy Preserves house tours take place twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. And the proceeds go to preserve Old Quincy. With another Illinois story in Quincy, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you. For a DVD copy of the program you've just seen, send 1995 to Network Knowledge, P.O. Box 6248, Springfield, Illinois 62708. Be sure to include the program name, subject, and when the program aired. You can also order with your credit card by calling 800-232-3605.